Good afternoon again, student. This video content is the second part of the chapter Federalism, class 10, subject Social Science. In this section, student, we will discuss key features of the federalism. So the key feature of federalism is given in your textbook. There are 7 features what has been discussed. The first is 2 or more level of the government exist in this system, as we discussed. But you should not conclude that there cannot be 2 level of the government in unitary system. We have already concluded that even in the unitary system there can be 2 level of government. Only difference is either there is only one level of the government or the subunits are subordinate to the central government. It means anytime the power of the state or provincial government can be taken by the national government. But in federal system there are 2 or more level of the government sharing different powers between them. Second feature of the key elements of democratic government is that both these government at the different level govern the same citizen, but each tier has its own jurisdiction. Let me give you my example, and that example is applicable to all of us. That I live in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, so I am governed by the government of Uttar Pradesh. At the same time, I am governed by the government of India, the Union Government of India. Take the case of the taxation. Taxation is divided between the 3 level of the government. Like variety of taxes I used to pay to the government of India, that is income tax, central excise tax, various other taxes are also there. The same example I gave you in the chapter power sharing. Then student, there are few taxes I used to pay to the government of Uttar Pradesh, and some of the taxes I used to pay to the local government. Like I live in Lucknow, so there exists Lucknow Municipal Corporation. So various taxes like house tax, water taxes are being paid from my side to the government. So that is where we can say that every individual in a federal structure is governed by more level of the government, more than one level of the government, or you can say minimum 2 level of the government. Third feature is that authority of each tier of government is constitutionally guaranteed. This is the most important feature of the federal system. As I said, that only drawback in the unitary system was that all the power of the state or provincial government was handed over by the national government or central government, and whenever it wanted it could have taken back or reduced the power of the state or central. But in federal system it is not possible, because the power of the central government and power of the state government are categorically mentioned and constitutionally guaranteed to both the set of the government. None of these government can take or decision about each other's power. That is how the system has been made more democratic in nature. Moving to fourth point, student, the fundamental provision of the constitution cannot be unilaterally changed by one level of the government. Suppose if there is required some changes in the constitution, you will find that the federal countries are more democratic. Reason, any changes in the constitution cannot be made until unless it is not supported by the state government or provincial government. India is one of the example in which various provisions of the constitution can be amended only by getting accent or the confirmation or the permission of 50% of the state of India. We will discuss this point in the coming part of the chapter, but just wanted to tell you that very good feature, that constitution cannot be changed unilaterally by the central government or union government to make themselves more powerful, but this could have been possible in the unitary government. Anytime in the unitary system, central or national government could have increased their power by taking back some of the matter of making law from the state or provincial government. Our fifth point is, student, courts have the power to interpret the constitution and the power of different level of the government. There are various possibilities that between center and state sometime dispute arises that on particular matter which government has to take decision. Regarding this matter in the federal structure, court has been given power to interpret the constitution, that if there will be any dispute, both these party or any of these party can go to the court, and court will decide that on a particular matter which authority should be there to take the decision. That is the feature of the federal system. But again, I want to tell you, such feature was missing in the unitary system. In the unitary system, constitution was not rigid, rather constitution was very flexible. There was no authority to take judgment in case of any dispute, rather only national or national government at any moment of time could have taken back their power or could have given their power to state or provincial government. Student, moving to sixth point, that is sources of revenue for each level of government are clearly specified. Sources of revenue for each level of government. Little earlier I gave you example that I am the one person, but by making the various kind of consumption, I pay taxes to all three sets of the government. Some of the taxes from my side is being paid to the central government. Some of the taxes from my side is paid to the state government or the local government. Then there is the last point, that is dual objective to safeguard and promote unity of the country while at the same time accommodate regional diversity. This is the last point, student. There is a dual objective. By making a federal system, we achieve two things. On the one side, by making our national or union government very powerful, or our central government or our federal government, whatever name you want to say. I'm again repeating, you can call it national government, you can call it central government. In India it is called union government, in USA it is called federal government. All these government at the central level can take the decision to safeguard and promote unity of the country, but at the same time there exists provincial or state government which can accommodate regional diversities. There are various issues, especially in the big countries, that need to be addressed, which sometimes gets ignored if the government only at the national level works. But in a federal system, we have overcome the problem of dissatisfaction from any corner of the country. Reason, there exists different level of the government, and based on the requirement of the people, different set of the government take decision in a different manner. Moving to the last section, that when the federal structure came into being, it was observed that there was two different means, and you will be surprised to know that there is no fixed formula on which the federal government has been established in all countries of the world. In different countries of the world, you will find that the center and state government, the balance of power between the center and state government varies from one federation to another. Yes, student, it is very interesting for you to know. It is divided into two sections. One is called Coming Together Federation. You open the page number 15 of your textbook. It is written in bold color. Coming Together Federation is one category and Holding Together Federation is another category. Let me give you an example of what the Coming Together Federation. What happened that many of the countries, after getting independence, decided that they should come together, because before coming together they were independent state, and they felt that if they will remain as an independent state, they might not remain safe and secure. So it is better that they should come and get united, and after that they can give some limited power to the federal authorities, and remaining and most of the power will remain in the hand of the state or the provincial government. The best example of this is United States of America, Switzerland and Australia. I would like to tell you that USA, after gaining independence, making themselves free from the British colonial rule, were divided into 13 states, and it was decided that these 13 states decided that they will form their themselves into the one big nation, which was called United States of America. It was decided in the Philadelphia summit. That's not given in your textbook, just wanting to tell you. In the Philadelphia summit, it was decided that these 13 states will come together and will form the government, and that is how the United States of America as a one nation came into being. Now it has 50 states. All these states have lot of freedom to take decision about their local issues, but for the prosperity of the and prosperity and strength and unity of the country, they have made it into one single country. On the other side, we have another structure in which large country decide to divide its power between the constituent states and the national government. India is the one of the best example. Spain and Belgium are also the example. It was not the different unit which came together. India, after attaining an independence, was one independent country, but it decided itself through its constitution. By the framer of the constitution, it was decided that India will be a federal structure where the most of the power will be in the control of the government, the control of the central government or the union government, and remaining power will remain in the hand of the provincial or state government. Here it is the word given holding together because after attaining independence, it was found in India and in also other countries wherever holding together federation exists, that there was the tendency of being separated or getting separated, or maybe making efforts in the future to get separated from the larger country. So the structure was made in the order that center should hold more power compared to the state. That is how, student, you can conclude that in coming together federation structure, the more power is given to the state government and less power is given to the central government, because these different units came together themselves to ensure that coming together federation, by coming together federation structure, they will make the country. In holding together federation, things are quite opposite. Here the center or the union government has more power compared to the state government. Student, there is a word given jurisdiction. You might be confused. So on the same page, jurisdiction has been defined, the area over which someone has legal authority. This word we use in the chapter, we are using this word even class 7th or 8th when you studied the chapter judiciary. Jurisdiction means the area on which someone has legal authority. Like Supreme Court of India has the jurisdiction all over the country, but the District and Session Court of Lucknow has the jurisdiction only in the area of the Lucknow. It means if any matter related to the Lucknow will come to the Lucknow District and Session Court, it can take decision, not the any other court. If any matter of the Sitapur or any other district comes to the Lucknow District and Session Court, it is not having the jurisdiction to take the decision. I hope I made the point clear. In the next section, student, we will begin our inquiry from the federal structure of India, which will our next heading will be what makes India a federal country. Thank you, student.